My hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. We're so pleased that you have joined us today. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me get right on into our topic today. You all know that you're watching the new primetime Black media. Talk Black to Me. The Vicki Show airs Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Family, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button, would you? On the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, family. The reason we ask that you do that is because it helps to draw other folk into the broadcast. And how many of you all know it's so important that the Black voice is supported? It's so important that the Black voice is elevated. Are y'all hearing me today? Also, dear family, I want you to be sure to check out my weekly mastermind at clubvicki.com. That's clubvicki.com. Once a week on Wednesday nights, I drop spiritual jewels. You have access to me there, VIP access to me there to ask questions, and I answer them in our chat. You can join for $1, clubvicki.com, clubvicki.com. And again, for those of you, my beautiful sisters, who miss the absolutely amazing 2-hour webinar that I did this past Saturday, entitled The Secret Money in Your Womb Part 2. It was so successful the first time we did Part 2. The Secret Money in Your Womb Part 2 was a 2-hour mastermind where I broke down to you more secrets of the womb, the resources available in our womb. And when I'm talking about wealth, I'm talking about a holistic perspective of wealth and prosperity, but certainly it includes material, money, and resources. Why? Because we know that many sicknesses are caused by the lack of funds. We know many divorces are caused by the lack of funds. Most crime is directly related to economic deprivation. We understand it was the reason why Black folk were brought here into America in the first place, those of us that were stolen from the throne land, as I call it. It's so important that you understand the need to have necessary resources. So I break down some of the secrets for the divine feminines, for our women. You can catch the replay. Those of you who are blessed enough to catch the replay, go now to, make sure you go later, rather, to FlyNubianMastermind.com. That's FlyNubianMastermind.com. Don't put the ATM in there, sis, because I think we may be sold out right now, and I'm not really pushing that right now. If they missed out, they just missed out. I will make some more available later on. The one that I want us to focus on is the FlyNubianMastermind.com. FlyNubianMastermind.com, so that you can catch the replay of the 2-hour mastermind. She was posting about the ATM card because I had talisman, really prophetic ATM cards available. I've had them made, and I prayed over them, did my black girl magic on them, in order just to have as a reminder and really as a magic tool for you to activate some of those principles that you learned in my course. You don't want to miss it, okay? Shout out to the V-Hive that's in the digital building, and our beautiful moderator, the Vicki Dillard fan page moderator, Angel. I call her the V-Hive General. Thank you all so much for your love and your support and dedication to promoting this show and network. Thank you so, so very much. So family, thumbs up, share, 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 share. Now today, this is an interesting topic today. A very interesting topic today. And very interesting topic. Some of you have been aware, may be aware, of the fact that some, for example, Michael Brown's family member, Tamir Rice's mother, and there are others. Some of the high-profile cases of some of our Black family that were murdered at the hands of these white supremacist race soldiers, some of them have been coming out speaking quite forcefully against certain high-profile organizations and people who consider themselves to be activists. Black Lives Matter is one of them. There are others. And the complaints from some of these family members against not only activists, but also really activist type attorneys and so forth, I believe that some of their criticism is warranted. I believe some of the other criticism that they have is not necessarily something that I can really speak on, that I may not necessarily believe for me it's appropriate to speak on certain areas of their criticism. But because their family members' names were invoked, and if they weren't, certainly the momentum that their family members' name and death unfortunately caused, other different organizations were able to benefit from it. Well, I want to give you an example, if I can, of what I mean by that. Samaria Rice, for example, and I discussed this a few days ago in a special collaboration that I did with my brother Black Magic 363 on his YouTube page. I was there with the legend Professor Griff. It was Professor Griff and I and Brother Red Pill. It was an amazing collaboration, and we all weighed in on this particular topic. And so it was fascinating. That was a few days ago. Some of you have been talking about how you enjoyed it. I must admit, let me just read to you a little bit of what's what. I'm reading to you now from Cleveland, a Cleveland newspaper. This one was written on March 16th. This is Miss Samaria Rice, Tamir Rice's mother, the 12-year-old young boy that was murdered in literally a matter of seconds by a white race soldier. That's his mother. So I want you all to listen to this here. This one, again, is from Cleveland. This article is a Cleveland.com article. It says Samaria Rice rebukes Tamika Mallory and others, quote, benefiting off the blood of police brutality victims. Okay, this is the article I'm reading from. These are not my words. These are the words of Samaria Rice. It says anyone who follows Samaria Rice, the mother of Tamir Rice, on social media got a clear look into the frustration that comes with seeking justice for the death of a child at the hands of police. Rice's latest display of vexation began during Sunday night's Grammy Awards. A performance by rapper Lil Baby of his song Protest, The Bigger Picture, opened with the reenactment of a black man being stomped and ultimately shot by police. Some critics have called the reenactment of the violence traumatizing and unnecessary. I don't know how many of you all actually watched the Grammys. I cannot remember the last time I watched the Grammys. Anytime I get news on the Grammys, it's like the after effect, or I'm reading about it on social media or some article or something. Excuse me. While Rice says, again, this is Samaria Rice, the mother of Tamir Rice, again, the 12-year-old boy that was murdered by a race soldier. It says, while Rice says she has no problem with little baby or his message, she does have an issue with the presence of activist Tamika Mallory, who delivered a speech during the performance saying, "It's time we take a stand. We demand the freedom this land promises." Quote, "Look at this clout chaser," Rice said of Mallory in a Facebook post on Monday while sharing a clip of the speech. Again, this is another quote from Miss Samaria Rice's words. She said, "Did she lose something in this fight? I don't think so. That's the problem. They take us for a joke. That's why we never have justice, because of S like this." In an interview with Cleveland.com, Rice elaborated on her social media post. She says she feels activists like Mallory, who Rice says she's never met, y'all hear that, are benefiting off the blood of families who have lost loved ones, gaining fame in the process. Who hired them to represent these families, Rice says. She doesn't speak for us. If you were going to do anything, you should have had the mothers on stage so that they could speak for themselves. Mallory first gained prominence. It goes on to talk about how she was a lead organizer for the 2017 Women's March. It says it earned her a top spot in Time magazine's list of 100. It goes on from there. Since some of this criticism that Miss Rice and a couple of others have been giving, not just Tamika, but they have called out Lee Merritt, I believe. They've called out Attorney Crump. They've called out Black Lives Matter. They've called out, I believe, Shaun King. They called out, I want to say somebody else called out my son. And I think there may have been a few others. Again, I'm just reporting the news, family. These are her words. But since said time, Tamika seems to have finally come forward and responded. I'm reading to you now from a article. This one initially popped up under YouTube, but it seems to be connected to another nameless, alleged Black publication. So this part is Tamika's response. Quote, "I respect her wishes," Tamika Mallory responds to Samaria Rice's comment. And it says, "Earns public support from Breonna Taylor's mother." Now, y'all listen, okay? Let me give you the facts, and then before we go further with the latest thing that just took place. Family, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Like, share, share, share. On the count of 3 for those of you that haven't hit that thumbs up button, family, okay? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And make sure that you share at the bottom of your screen. If you touch the bottom of your device, there should be a share button that pops up. Copy the share button, and then you can paste the link on your social media platforms. I always say, I don't care if you got 5 people following you. You never know who you may impact. So make sure that you share it, text it to someone, email it to someone right now, and let them know that the Vicky Show, Black Prime Time, is on, and we want them to tune in quite quickly because I want to do my best to keep today's show a little shorter than yesterday's. Tamika responded. Here's Tamika's response. It talks about Tamika and my son. That's her co-host, and I think a good friend of hers and co-activist. They often work together. It says, speaking on a podcast over the weekend with the rapper and activist My Son, Mallory clarified that she has never publicly used the name of Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old who was shot dead by a Cleveland police officer in 2014, to uplift a cause, other than potentially calling the role of all the people that we can think about at any particular time that have been killed by the state. I have been very, very careful, and have always been careful, not to speak about cases or individuals that I have not worked directly with the families, said Mallory. We've never actually met or sat down, had a phone conversation, or met in any way, she said, of Samaria Rice. I would never be so disrespectful as to speak about her child or to have a campaign that addresses her child or uses her child's name to uplift any cause. While I have been doing it in the past, I will be very, very careful going forward to ensure that I respect her wishes, said Mallory of Rice's recent demand that her son's name not be used by activists in the larger movement. Rice herself has acknowledged, again, that's Tamir Rice's mother, has acknowledged that she's never met or spoken to Mallory. However, the Until Freedom activist said that she has recently reached out to people who know Rice to try and open up a line of conversation. So I've just given you some basic information, some of the recent criticism that Black Lives Matter, Tamika Mallory, and other activists and other Black civil rights attorneys have been receiving from some of the family members of the slain. And then I've given you a brief response and a relevant excerpt of Tamika's response, specifically to Miss Samaria Rice. This is the environment that we're in now. So on the heels of such criticism, and again, Tamika doing her the piece on the Grammys and all this other kind of stuff. The other thing that Miss Rice said, I think in another time, was she said that she was like that she was saying that they were getting book deals and podcasts and all this other stuff, something to that effect. She was saying that basically some of these folks were profiting off of. I'm just giving you the facts for now, family. So this is what I posted today on my Instagram page and my personal social media platforms. Can you all see this? Thumbs up, family. I'm gonna need everybody to thumbs up, share, would you? Thank you so very much. Thumbs up. This is what I posted today on my Instagram page. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. You can follow me on Instagram at VICKIX Dillard. You can also follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky. That's my last name first on Twitter, okay? So what I posted there was the actual picture that came from a video commercial that Tamika was just recently in with Cadillac. Yes, Cadillac. So on the heels of all of this, Tamika just appeared in Cadillac GM's commercial talking about, believe it or not, the audacity of Blackness. This is a Cadillac logo symbol from, which you really can't see. It's showing you everything but that, the symbol there. So I want you to listen to a little bit of it. Let me get ready to cue it for you. I'm going to read this disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit the balance in favor of fair use. Now let me get ready to cue this. Give me just a second, would you? While I'm doing that, family, everybody slam that thumbs up button. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, would you? I'm getting ready to cue it. And this is all over social media. This very brief commercial that even they made available, GM on social media. Now, here we go. Again, this is Cadillac. It says honors audacity of Blackness. Now, as you're watching this, I want you to keep in mind a few things. First of all, I want you to keep in mind that business is warfare. That means big, large companies and corporations. Are you hearing me? Many of which still exist today that were directly involved in and benefited from our enslavement or oppression in some way. Are you hearing me? It doesn't matter if it was literally chattel slavery, which we find that there are still some companies, corporations, banks, and so forth. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Banks and corporations. Let's see.
I've been an activist.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to play you just a couple of seconds. Of course, this is all over social media. Again, this is protected under the Copyright Act of 1976. Fresh off the presses. Y'all ready? Okay, let's see.
I've been an activist for 25 years of my life. I come from a very long line of strong women. They always encourage me to use every single resource to help another young woman who's on her journey. I am sure Black women will lead this nation.
Okay, I want you to listen to this part. Let's get the volume back. I'm going to start this over, family. I'm going to start this over. Of course, you see it starts with Tamika getting out of what looks like to be an Escalade. Let me get this together.
I've been an activist for 25 years of my life. I come from a very long line of strong women. They always encourage me to use every single resource to help another young woman who's on her journey. I am sure Black women will lead this nation to a better place. We're taking control and we're shaping our stories.
Did you all hear that? She's in this commercial, and I know some of you probably mad that I didn't show you all of the video commercial. But she's in this commercial where she is with a bunch of other women, Black women. And there seems to be a little bit of speculations because when you look at some of the women, I mean, you really can't tell if it's one looks like maybe a trans. I don't know for sure. But you see all different kind of classifications of women. Black women in this commercial for Cadillac. And again, when it starts, as you saw, she's getting, she's coming out of the Cadillac, what I think is a Cadillac Escalade. This is not about beating up, for me, on Tamika or any other person that seeks or says that they seeks to do good for Black folk. Some of you all know that Tamika, at a distance, I saw her as a powerful Black woman. Some of you are aware that even before I came on YouTube, I had interviewed her in a podcast that I was doing briefly. And I was so proud of some of the work that she was doing. And then over the past few years, I began to notice a few things. I've done some shows, as some of you may know, my day ones, you all know this, in support of her. When she went through that crisis with the airlines, and the airlines disrespected her and my son, and she was crying and breaking down. They did a news press conferences. I mean, it was a really, really big deal. I mean, I was defending her. I did podcasts and shows in defense of our sister. I did a show in defense of her when I went off on Meghan McCain for disrespecting Tamika, when Tamika appeared on The View, on and on and on. And I have been slow to do any shows that would appear to paint her in a negative light. But when someone has an outsized influence, or they're considered to be someone that's a part of the Black grassroots and Black society, and there are some things that I think are too important not to say anything about, then that's when I say something. Even when I'm giving folks this work, some folks even in jest, you know, the type of energy you come to me with, I come to you with. I don't see folk like Roland as just a Black man. I see Roland as an enemy to Black people. So I don't, you know, I have to adjust and then discern accordingly. And sometimes all things aren't known immediately. So I was slow to throw her under the bus or to speak of her in what might be perceived in a negative light. But then there are other things that started to come out when she did this interview with TMZ, and I may play a little clip of it for you. And she was saying that in some instances, women's rights, sexism, she was saying is worse than racism. Before that, I saw a post. This was a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, I mean like a year and a half or two ago, that she put up. And it seemed like she was calling Black folks homophobic. That's how I perceived it. She is a very strong defender and ally to Roland Martin. She has done podcasts with him, shows with him. She's urged people to financially support him, on and on and on. She is in strong league with Amanda Seales, who has said some very anti-Black men, thus anti-Black statements, very strong, serious statements. More than that, Amanda actively worked against and lied on and slandered one of the very people that Tamika, I believe, was saying that she was protesting for. And it seems that publicly, at least, Tamika stayed silent about the recklessness and the danger that Amanda Seales has been. Of course, many of you all know that Tamika is a protege of Reverend Al Sharpton. She worked with his organization, ran his organization, I believe, or one division of it for some time. I think that matters. And when I came into a disagreement with my sister, and we were kind of going back and forth on social media, respectfully, though we disagreed, it seemed that Tamika, this is my perception, took the side of lying Amanda Seales on an issue. Again, there were several things that I disagreed with Tamika on. But notwithstanding those disagreements, I was saying to her, hey, sis, maybe it'd be a good idea, notwithstanding, that we still connect, that we still get together, even if we disagree. She, of course, reserves the right to not to have anything to do with me. And it appears that's exactly what she's determined to do. This is one of the biggest issues that I have with some of the Black activists that are now getting this work, is that the people that you purport to represent, or at least folk on the outside think you represent the Black grassroots, you're actually disconnected from and refuse to be seen with them in public. Somebody talk Black to me. Y'all hit that thumbs up button and share, 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 please. Thumbs up, share, share, share. So to say there's a problem for me when you are willing to go on The View and have a confrontation with white supremacist Meghan McCain, who slandered you many times before you ever appeared on The View. See, this is white supremacy for me. Some of you guys will not have anything to do with your own brother or sister who says, even though I disagree with you, I'm willing to meet with you, like I've done with her. You won't be seen with us. You won't speak our names. You pretend that we don't exist. You consider us to be too radical for you. You consider some of my commentary to be a little too much for you to have anything to do with it. You will, that's right, Ronique. You will be willing, however, to meet with the white supremacist who slandered your name, Tamika. They called Tamika anti-Semitic. Meghan McCain wrapped Minister Farrakhan's name around Tamika's throat as if it was some sort of an albatross of some sort. She still was willing to meet with that white supremacist who slandered your name, who has access to millions in America and around the world, dogged you out, but you were willing to still give them an audience. Somebody talk black to me. But you won't be seen with your own so-called controversial black grassroots folk. I tagged Sean King on Twitter and I told Sean the same thing. I told Sean King, I said, Sean King, I said, I've always been slow to ever criticize you, brother. You don't find too many tweets of me going in on Sean King. Even if, people seem like they were legitimate in some of the criticism or whatever, I didn't get into a lot of that stuff. But one of the things that I told him, I said that sometimes some of what you guys are dealing with now, even though it may seem like this is criticism about them profiting off of the death of dead black men, ambulance chasers, cloud chasers, or whatever else everybody else wants to call them. This is really more than about one thing. Because if you were connected to your people, the grassroots, some of this suspicion and some of the criticism, it's accumulated now because of said disconnection. Let me tell you something. I'm going to get back to this. A couple of things that I want to say to my sister and to some of the other black activists and attorneys. You become suspect to us when we don't hear you push and demand reparations. You become suspect to us when we see that you're saying out of the side of your mouth that black folks don't have justice. You're saying that we're demanding justice. You're saying no justice, no peace. You're saying that racism, and in some cases, some of you say white supremacy, is a real problem. But you still appear to be willing to patty cake with it. What do you mean, Vicky? I know that we're still in the system of white supremacy and that it's inextricably connected to every area of people activity. What does that mean? That means that most of the grocery stores that you all shop at has a white supremacist in it or that owns it. I'm saying that some of the jobs that you're working on and some of the corporations you're working with have white supremacists in it or that may own it. That's what I mean, that I know that we still have to engage in a system and in the world of white supremacy. But there is an appropriate way, there's a very strategic way, and there's a communal way, I believe, that we should go about doing it. Now, while that makes sense that we have to engage in certain areas of people activity, because we're in a world of white supremacy where black folks don't yet dominate, where we're not yet the head, but we're still the tail. But somebody say not for long, because there's a changing of the gods. Listen. The area where you had autonomy, like with your vote, you told us to go vote for Joe Biden without any demands or concessions up front. And then on top of that, Sister Tamika, you publicly rebuked Ice Cube because Donald Trump's team responded to his demand to do something specifically related economically for Black people. Now we know that Ice Cube put his plan for Black America before both the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats told Ice Cube, we'll deal with you after the election. Donald Trump responded, even if his motives weren't right. The point is, he responded. I know none of us going to sit here and act like Joe Biden's motives are right. We know Joe Biden put more of our Black family in deprivation in recent history than any other legislator, single-handedly. So there's no reason for us to say we trust Joe Biden better. But it's not like Ice Cube just contacted Trump's people. No, it was that Trump's people responded first, and Joe Biden's people told Ice Cube, we'll holler at you later. Kay said Trump is a liar. We know Trump is a liar. Politics is a game, sis. We don't care which white supremacist is willing to do something for Black people. Even if Joe Biden does something for us, he's still a white supremacist who believe that Black folks shouldn't have the benefits that white folks have. This is the problem with some of you that sees a difference in the racism in the Democratic Party versus that of the Republican Party. It's a game. You Negroes that are tethered to a label like Democrat, Republican, Christian, Muslim, Jew, or whatever, that's how you're able to let the white supremacists slip in, because you espouse a label instead of being Black first. Your issue should only be who's going to do something of substance for Black people. Did you hear what I said? You all who are not saying exactly that are still a slave. You're still believing and looking forward to the biscuits from the plantation. Your concern is about who is willing to do something for Black people, and that your vote is for sale to the highest bidder. Unfortunately, Tamika went public and she criticized Ice Cube. And she urged us to vote for Joe Biden. Sean King, I don't think, urged folks to vote as much for Joe Biden, but he made it clear why he himself was personally going to vote for Joe Biden. That's a problem, because we see that as you empowering the white supremacist without getting any anything of substance in return. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I want you to listen again. I won't show you the video now, but because you remember that she's getting out the Cadillac, I want you to listen to this part again, because this is another big issue that I have, unfortunately, with this commercial and with my dear sister, this collaboration that she did with Cadillac. As I'm preparing this again, family, I need you all to give us a thumbs up, share, share, share. Don't forget that we have a store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. On the count of three, everybody hit that thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And share, share, share. We see a lot of those who claim to be spokespeople for Black empowerment. We see that as suspect because we see you empowering our oppressors. We see that as a sign that you're off code with the large mass of Black folk, because we made it very clear that we didn't believe in voting for any of them without reparations, without some economic package specifically for Black people. But that's not the only issue that I believe is a problem. And I'm saying this as a sister, and I'm saying this in love. The biggest, and I'm going to use the word sin, of some of you individuals that's out there that says that you represent Black people, you all also are real big on all these other intersectional group and agendas. You guys are sitting out here fighting. You be saying people of color. Some of y'all out there are hashtagging Stop Asian Hate. Some of you all are out there pushing LGBT stuff. Like I said, my sister Tamika came under some fire some time back because some of us felt that she was calling the Black community homophobic. That's a problem. I said that's a problem. The seriousness of the war against Black people exceeds any other little low maintenance battles that any other group of people are experiencing right now. We acknowledge that other people go through stuff. We simply say it pales in comparison to ours. Number one, because we've experienced the worst human treatment that any other people group have ever experienced for longer than anybody else. This is why I said this issue, for a lot of folks, they may not be able to articulate it fully, but this is bigger than just somebody saying you're clout chasing. Many of you are suspect because you are out there pushing the agenda of all these other groups. You're not Black first as a major priority. You're pushing women's rights, and then you got the nerve to turn around and sit out there and equate saying the lack of sexism with racism. I'm going to go back to the commercial in a minute, but I want you to listen to this clip. I did a show on this not too long ago. Do I have it here? When she did, is this the one? Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. For those of you that are just coming in, my name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a proud contributor here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, okay? Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. And follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicki. My last name first. I want to find something real quick. Do I have it here? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Give me just a second because I really want you to hear this. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the commercial, then I'll circle back to this, hopefully. Listen again.
I've been an activist for 25 years of my life. I come from a very long line of strong women. They always encourage.
Come from a long line of strong women. Now you coming out the Cadillacs car. Now I can see if Cadillac was sponsoring something pro-Black, and y'all were in a different setting, but they got her coming out of Escalade. Somebody talk black to me. So this is really Tamika selling Cadillacs. I mean, no disrespect, sis, but let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. This is Tamika selling Cadillacs. Now, don't get it twisted, family. You all know that I believe in black empowerment. You all know that I believe in black folks having money, resources, and abundance. Don't get me twisted with some of these fools that's out here pocket watching other people. I believe in black folks having an abundance and having everything that we need. But I do not believe that it is right to work with a white corporation like Cadillac, GM Motors. Don't forget, your first alleged black president bailed out the Cadillac industry, the car industry. Y'all remember that? But he left black folks hanging. And y'all know that many of you all that had those jobs in Detroit that work for GM and so forth, you all know that's the reason why for a season, especially many decades ago, so many black families were able to live well because they had those good, what they call middle-class jobs and so forth, right? They bailed them out, but don't forget Obama's folk screwed us over as it relates to the loss of our homes and the failure to properly enforce those that screwed us over. But they saw the need to bail out this white company. Y'all listen. No disrespect, but it seemed like, sis, you selling caddies. They got you coming out the Cadillac, the Escalade. Okay. Now let me go back real quick when I said I believe in empowerment. Do not ever come to me. I'm not one of them people that say, that person make too much money. I don't believe in that. We're the original people. We're supposed to have money, resources, and everything we need. If you think that I'm one of those people, you better go somewhere else. It is dysfunctional and it is abnormal and it is against nature to be in poverty. The reason I started this show again today, reminding you that business is warfare, because that is the reason why they enslaved us and exploited and stole our labor, raped, sodomized us, traumatized us for economic reasons. But it seemed like sis is selling cars. But that ain't all. When someone gets a black face who's known as an activist, do you know that they know that the audience that's watching them, that's watching her, there's an automatic trust factor when you see someone that stands for justice, that's supposed to stand for justice and righteousness. That means that they're playing on you. They're playing on your emotions. There's a trust factor that the car company benefits from just by having her in their commercial. They didn't have her sitting up in no park or in no house doing no interview and then put on there sponsored by GM Cadillac. That would have been fine. They had her coming out of Escalade. Y'all tell the truth. But that ain't my biggest issue even. Really, Vicky? No, it's not about. My biggest issue is not because Tamika now sells Cadillacs. My issue is not now because our sister is now selling caddies. That ain't even my biggest issue. Listen, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm cueing it. Thumbs up, family.
To use every.
I want you to look at what Cadillac is doing. It's so slick. I don't want you to miss it. Listen again. Okay, I'm cueing it now, family. Hold on.
5 years of my life.
Hold on, here we go. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Thank you, family. Y'all said, uh-oh, I muted myself. Thank you. I'm just talking my head off. Thank you, family. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Testing, testing, testing. Can you hear me now? Testing, testing, testing. Okay, they say they can hear me now. I'm so sorry. I'm just talking away. My bad, family. Good. Okay, thank you so much. My apologies. Keep thumbs up, sharing. Listen, I got to remember what I was saying. I want you to look at the finesse. My biggest issue is not even that Tamika appears to be selling Cadillacs right now. My biggest issue is not that she appears to be a Cadillac saleswoman. I want you to pay attention to the finesse of Cadillac again.
A very long line of strong women. They always encourage me.
Listen.
Of strong women. I come from a very long life. I come from a very long line of strong women. They always encourage me to use every single resource to help another young woman who's
okay. You come from a strong line. You come from a line of very strong women. Let me tell you something. This is a trick from your white supremacist open enemy that's trying to elevate the black woman while engaging in acts of disappearing the black man. Somebody talk black to me. Let me say something to you. Most of the victims that Tamika, when she says she's doing her roll call, many of them are women like our sister Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, right? But the majority of them are dead black men. Somebody talk black to me. Now, let me ask y'all something. No disrespect, brothers. I'm saying this in love. Who has the best reputation, the greatest reputation for purchasing Cadillacs? Y'all tell the truth, shame the devil, real quick. Y'all tell the truth. Who's known for having the cleanest Cadillac, and not just having the cleanest Cadillac? Who's known for actually working for GM Motors and bringing home the bacon back in the day? Y'all, let's just be honest real fast. So you're taking a product that you know darn well that black men almost single-handedly makes, give it some finesse. Give it some swag. Black men who popularizes and overwhelmingly purchase these vehicles. Y'all don't sit there and do commercials, because I don't know of no commercials where you're sitting up there talking about the elevation of the black man. But then you take this black female activist who speaks for dead black men. But you talking about elevating the black woman, but disappearing the black man? Y'all make it make sense right now, please. Make that make sense. Y'all stop playing with me today. The biggest victims, y'all know, has been the black man. Now, we're seeing the sisters, the numbers are taking up for us too. Don't get it twisted. And we pay other types of prices for white supremacy. I'm not saying that. But we're talking about who's being shot dead. These are the main victims of white supremacy right now. But y'all gonna sit up here and say what Tamika just said? No, I'm gonna let you listen to the rest of it. Don't forget, she said she come from a long line of strong black women. Now, I don't know all of Tamika's story, but I could have sworn she said her mother and father were activists. I don't know. But I don't know that Cadillac wanted to hear that for that commercial. They just wanted her to talk about the women in the family. And there's nothing wrong with elevating the woman. I do 2-hour seminars on talking about the unique powers of the woman when I'm talking about the secret money in your womb. But I promote both energies, the necessity of both the masculine and the feminine. protect us, because we're at a very important time in this battle where the changing of the guards is getting ready to take place. There are going to be some things that are going to intensify, and they're intentionally attacking Black men, making them docile, causing them to be out of their mind and feminizing them, or getting them distracted with Becky, and every other people group, so that they are not, so that they don't have the presence of mind or even be conscious to know that we're at war and we're going to need them as the providers and protectors at this time, specifically in war. This is not by accident. You all don't understand. Some of you that don't think this is a big deal, you don't understand how the media knows how your brain works more than you. Scientists tell us that most of our actions we take, 90-some% of it, has to do with, based on what's in our subconscious. So you're not even consciously thinking about some of the stuff you do. Some of you all drive your cars, go to work, come home from work, drive home from work, and some of you don't even remember the stoplights that you passed by. Tell the truth. Some of you don't even understand. You sitting there pumping your gas, and then you out there singing a song that you heard on the commercial, and you didn't even consciously try to learn the song, but you know the song. They're programming your subconscious with these commercials where they don't never have no Black men and no Black women together anymore. Tell the truth. They're programming your mind to where they're putting an emphasis in this season. It's fine if you're elevating the woman, but don't dog out and ignore the Black man. That's my problem with you funny looking Black feminists. That's strategic. So don't you come bring your funny self over here talking about, well, you got a problem with them elevating the Black woman. Fool, if you don't sit your ignorant, slow, put turtles in the chat, self down somewhere. How you gonna out of one side of your mouth say I'm out here protesting, and most of the people you protesting for are dead Black men, which lets you know that they're the number one target in this white supremacy system. But everything that you're doing in public is about elevating women. Y'all just come on and ignoring them. I'm just saying. And we're at war. And they're supposed to be our warrior class. They're supposed to be our protectors. This is not by accident. It's the same thing that they did with Stacey Abrams. It's the same thing the entire Democratic Party did when Black men were calling out Kamala Harris for locking up Black men. And you had Howard Dean, former presidential candidate, former chairman of the DNC, telling Black men to shut the F up. You had Simone Sanders, who now works with Kamala, with the White House. She was allegedly Joe Biden's senior counsel, but we know she was his linebacker. She was his linebacker. Simone Sanders, before she officially worked with Joe Biden, remember she publicly said, when she was rebuking a Black man that wrote a political op-ed piece telling Kamala Harris, explaining to Kamala Harris why it was going to be difficult for her to win the presidential nomination from Black folks because she locked up so many Black people. Do you all remember that Simone Sanders, who now works at the White House, she put out a tweet and told Uncle Luke is his name. She told him that he was no political mastermind or strategist. In other words, she was telling him he was stupid. Then she turned around and said what? That she was tired of the unsolicited opinions of Black men. I'm going to say it again. The linebacker that is Simone Sanders, who put all of her body, her voluptuous body, jiggling, shaking, running, moving, whatever all it was doing on its own, to jump in front of a nonviolent, non-dairy protester while Joe Biden was speaking. Remember, Simone physically put herself between lily white Joe Biden and that white protester who was no threat physically. Yanked her off the stage and broke her nail in the process. Sis, you know we don't believe in breaking our nails for nobody. Some of y'all about dropped your infant children if you thought they was going to bend on your nail too hard and mess it up. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Thumbs up, share, share, share. That's Simone Sanders, who used to work for Bernie Sanders' campaign at one time. Remember? She publicly put out there she was tired of the unsolicited opinions of Black men. Do you remember when Roland Martin, who you all know is a member of LAM, he is a part now of the League of Manly's. We're not going to put any more pressure on him to be masculine. That's too much to ask of anybody like that. Do you all remember when Roland was scared because the numbers were coming in? They were showing how a greater percentage of Black men ended up voting for Trump at one time. And so Roland went public and started screaming at Black men. Then you saw all of the LAM League of Mammy people on major news network, including Lomina Joy Reid. Remember all of them? See, y'all forgot. This is my job to connect the dots. That's right, with Roland Sassy Self. Do you all remember when all of these Black folks in mainstream white media, they started including Don Lemon? Don Lemon, who is a part of the LGBT community, he got the nerve to open up his mouth to tell Black men what they ought to be doing and telling Black people in general what they ought to do. If I remember correctly. But for sure, Don was going off on the Black community about how we better vote. They were specifically, most of them dogging Black men, remember? I'm trying to get you guys to see they're intentionally trying to shut them out. White supremacy does not want masculine energy anywhere in the building, which is why they give. How is it? What's his name? I always forget his name. These forgettables. Capehart. You got a little Capehart on MSNBC now, Black man. Jonathan Capehart. He's married to a white man. You got Don Lemon, who's engaged to a white man. Jonathan Capehart already works for a white print publication. I want to say Washington Post, if I'm mistaken. They like, no disrespect, Van Jones. Van cry every other. Van is always crying on CNN. Van Jones is always boo-hooing and crying. They promote, they elevate, watch this, and they celebrate Black men who are not heterosexual and masculine. None of them brothers, no disrespect. I have never seen on any of these networks any Black man that was a host that made me tremble. If you ain't making me tremble, it's something wrong. Talk black to me. Talk black to me. None of them made my feminine energy do nothing at all. On no day, accidentally, nothing. Never, just no. It just didn't go down. Talk black. And this is by design. I said this is by design. And unfortunately, the white supremacist always loves to draft a Black woman to help do the dirty work. Why? Because I told you all war is expensive, right? The white supremacist saves money when he gets a Black Aunt Jemima to do the work for him. When you get a Black woman involved in your scheme, everything is going to go down, even if it goes down in the wrong way. The white supremacist is able to save money and doesn't have to do the hard labor of taking more Black folk out because the Black woman will nurture her people and community to submit to white supremacy. And she will do it under the guise of this is the right thing to do to protect. And some of them truly mean well. Some of them do. But some of them are so enamored with Zaddy. Some of them are so impressed with these campers that there's nothing I can really do to assist some of them. Which is why Oprah is one, Gail is one, Michelle Obama is one, Jamil Hill is one, Angela Rye is one. You can name many others. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. Now let's go back to this real quick. You heard the part of her talking about the long line of strong. What did she say about the women she come from? Listen.
Encourage me to use always encourage me. Of strong, from a very long line of strong women. They always.
That's the other thing. Black women, what is this about us being strong? They're always pushing that on us that we're supposed to be strong. No intelligent Black woman nowadays is running out here talking about how strong we are. The reason they calling you strong, sis, that's not no compliment. Strong is Stacey Abrams. Strong is Stacey Abrams willing to do the labor, the footwork for white supremacy. When they call you strong, they're thinking your labor. Strong was the Black woman who was able to pick more cotton than the Black man. That's why they throw that out there, because your usefulness to white supremacy. Nobody is talking about strong today. We have a capacity to be resilient where we're able to bounce back. But you don't start your conversation. You don't talk about how witty we are, how beautiful, how creative we are, how intelligent we are, how spiritual we are. You start about, she's strong. You got me messed up. Strong means you want me to be masculine, fool. You want me to take the place of my man. And you want to erase him. And the way you get me to do it is by clapping your hands, applauding me. You give me a sponsorship. You give me a Cadillac deal. And you trick me by celebrating me. I think Black women, y'all get caught up in thinking this is something good. When white people start celebrating you, that's a trick. This brings me to my next point of our sister, Tamika. I love our sister. I told you I'm doing this in love. This is not me dogging her out. The issues that I have with some of these civil rights attorneys and some of these activists, in addition to your disconnection to the Black grassroots, in addition to the fact that you guys are pushing LGBT stuff, you're pushing Stop Asian Hate stuff, you're pushing all these other fights while we need most of your attention to be on Black issues. Why? Because Black folks are not repaired. Black folks are the unfinished business of America. You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was watching the news and I was watching Rachel Maddow briefly, because I can only take so much of that. But I was briefly watching a clip of Rachel talk about how the Republicans are gutting voting rights that's disproportionately affecting Black people, right? In Georgia. I then saw another reporter who was Asian sitting in for this white lady talking about it. Then this Hispanic man who has a show on MSNBC weekdays during the day, he was on TV talking about it. Why am I bringing that up? Keep sharing, family. Thumbs up, share, share, share. For those of you that are coming in, my name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a proud contributor here on Fly Nubian Queen TV.com. I'm typically here weekdays, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Set your clocks just in case you don't get notifications from these platforms. I want you to make sure, number one, that you join my weekly mastermind for $1 at clubvicky.com. I'm breaking down spiritual jewels. People have been having all kinds of results, powerful insights that's literally changed their reality. Join today for $1, clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com. Also, don't forget to check out our store at shopfnq.com. You can get all kinds of Black apparel and Black product at shopfnq.com, shopfnq.com. The links will be in the chat from our moderator in just a moment. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Listen. So when I was watching the Rachel Maddow, then I was looking at this Asian lady that was sitting in for someone for the past few days. Then I was listening to this Hispanic guy. They were all reporting. Y'all listen. I need y'all to see this. All of these different people groups who you all know the Black community fights for everybody. They were sitting in prominent seats on the news. This Hispanic guy has a show 5 days a week. But MSNBC doesn't have a Black man that's on 5 days a week. Listen, the Hispanic man, the Asian lady that's sitting in, and Rachel Maddow, who has the #1 primetime show, my understanding, for white cable. Rachel is part of the LGBTQ community. Why am I bringing that up? They were all reporting on Georgia's draconian voting rights law that just passed and how it disproportionately is targeting Black folk. Isn't that something? That other people groups are sitting in positions that still to this day, even Black folks don't sit in, but they're reporting on news that still targets Black people. They're reporting on news every day that bears witness to our oppression. And I thought, how did an LGBT person get a major laws passed under a Black man? They have some of the most visible, lucrative, profitable jobs. Hispanic people, and even a few of the Asian reporters. But the stuff they're reporting on is what? The stuff they're reporting on is still about Black death, Black murder, draconian Jim Crow laws that target specifically Black people. And y'all wonder why I'm sitting up here telling you that we don't have time to be equally pushing issues related to everybody else when Black folk is unfinished business? Because even LGBT Rachel Maddow, even the Hispanic guy, whatever his name is, even some of the other people groups, they're reporting on news. Listen, they're reporting on news that has to do with Black folk being attacked, votes being stolen, votes being suppressed. Don't y'all think that's something? Don't you guys think that's something? How did everybody else jump the line? That's right. Somebody put hashtag "we will not be replaced." We don't have no problems with other people doing well. I'm just saying, how did everybody else butt in line? Black folks, some of this is our fault because we are pushing all of these other issues before we're making sure we're whole. We're not even secure yet. The issue that some of us had when that California governor put a Hispanic man in the place of Kamala wasn't because nobody wants Hispanic people to have good positions. It's the fact that there is not one single Black woman in the Senate. And Black folks have been in this country, built this country, made this country, sustained this country for 466 years. We've not been made whole. But I digress. Everybody, thumbs up, thumbs up. Listen to some more of this. We're breaking this down. You already see where we're going with it, right? You already see where we're going with it, right? Watch this. Let me get this back on. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. While I'm doing this, I'm cueing this, so I want you to listen to the rest of this. Thumbs up, share, share, share. I'm going to go back to the commercial here in just a second.
Encourage me to use every single resource to help me to use every they always encourage me to use every single resource to help another young woman who's on her journey. I am sure Black women will lead this nation to a better place.
She said, I am sure Black women will lead this nation to a better place. Let me ask y'all something. Do you all not see how dangerous it is to be in the middle of a war with white supremacy, and you're at war? They're sparking wars in the Black community to separate us from our best and elite soldiers in this war. Why would you even say women will lead this nation? You acknowledge that Black men were drugged. You acknowledge that Black men were poisoned. You acknowledge that Black men were lynched. You acknowledge that Black men were sodomized. You acknowledge that Black men haven't been made whole. How is it that we are disappearing them? We're ignoring them. This is the reason why, my dear sister, and some of you others, some of us take issue with you, because you are separating us and you're playing into the hands, rather, of the white supremacist. Did you all hear what I said? Anytime. So some of you all, now you understand when I told you that the worst part is not because Tamika is selling Cadillacs now. No, my biggest issue is not that Tamika Mallory is now selling Cadillacs. My issue is that you're working with a company, you who are a visible face that speaks for justice. You have allowed this white company to spark a gender war between us and the Black men. Exactly, divide and conquer. This is the biggest issue. In addition to you guys, many of you are not really connected to the true Black grassroots. In addition to the fact that some of you guys are pushing all of these other ancillary issues, secondary, tertiary issues. Some of y'all like Dr. Cornel West. I love some of Dr. Cornel West's stuff. But every time Dr. Cornel West is somewhere, he always has to say Black, my gay LGBT brothers and sisters, my brown brothers, every time. You guys act like everybody else's history is 466 years of age. It's not. This is another issue that I have, is that you allowed Cadillac. It's one thing, okay, fine, sell Cadillacs. That's your I ain't tripping on you selling Cadillacs. If Tamika want to sell Cadillacs, let Tamika help them people sell Cadillacs. But when you allow this prominent company that, number one, only even has its reputation because mostly Black men gave it a reputation, and you allow that company to not say that Black people will lead this country. Tell me, in what way has the Black man reached the upper echelon of the United States in any real substantive way, where the collective Black man has done that? So how does it make sense to say that we're going to lead? When you allow yourself to be used like that, you do great damage to your own people and to the work of justice that you say you're about, and you greatly enhance white supremacy. I'm doing my best not to scream. I'm saying this in love. I'm not talking crazy about this sister. I'm not slandering her. But this is not my first time respectfully calling her out about instigating a gender war. Why was Cadillac even comfortable coming to Tamika to get her to say something like that? Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. Those of you that are tuning in, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I ask that you thumbs up, that you like, and that you share, because it helps to draw other folk into the broadcast. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Why would Cadillac even be comfortable approaching Tamika and asking her to say something like that without her objection? Could it be this? This is also under Copyright Act of 1976. She did an interview with TMZ not too long ago.
I am curious, fascinated actually, that if Biden is a transitional president, which he is, and Kamala Harris runs in 2024,
wait, listen.
Do you withhold support to Kamala Harris in 2024?
Well, yeah, I think you look at whoever the Democratic nominees are, and you began to invest in individuals who actually have your best interests at heart. I mean, we obviously were living in a situation that was imminent threat. We had to get rid of Donald Trump. He just could not be the president of the United States anymore. And so we had a situation where we had to vote against him. But
of course, nobody in intelligent Black society believes that's true. Because America was so desperate to get rid of Donald Trump, that was the best time for us to make the demand on the Democrats that they were going to push for reparations for us. Not only was it a problem because Tamika and those of her ilk were pushing us to vote for Joe Biden, my problem with my sister is not only because you did that, you also rebuked Black folks who chose not to. You publicly rebuked Ice Cube. You publicly rebuked Ice Cube because he did not differentiate between the white supremacist parties. He was only concerned like we are. The reason why Ice Cube was so supported is because we had already set the environment for the proposal that Ice Cube put forth to be successful. We were the ones that created that environment as the Black grassroots. That's the reason why y'all had so much resistance. We said we don't care what party you are. We're only interested in whichever party is going to do something for Black, that's going to do something specifically for Black people. These are the issues I'm saying that I have. Listen, again, I'm going to go back to the other Cadillac commercial in a minute. I'm letting you listen to an interview she did with TMZ a few months ago.
Day is over. We're now in a time that when the Democratic nomination period comes up again, we may have to make a different choice. I hope that that is not the case. I truly want to believe that Kamala Harris, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, is going to work really hard, one, to reckon with some of the issues in her past, and also because she's really been on a listening tour, gathering information and trying to understand the intricacies of the issues that Black folks are dealing with across the.
Now, even Tamika saying that, what listening to her was Kamala Harris on? Who didn't Bernie Sanders meet with Cardi B? Didn't Joe Biden meet with Cardi B? Wasn't Kamala Harris bopping to and advocating Cardi B? Somebody talk Black to me. That's the listening tour they was on. They were out there meeting with, don't y'all ever forget that Joe Biden had an interview prior to the election with Cardi B. Don't y'all ever forget that. Did they come to us, the Black grassroots, directly? No. Listen,
And so, I don't put my faith in any one white man, especially a white man that's over 70 years old, who we know, unfortunately, Vice President Biden has invested and been a part of some of the most dangerous and detrimental things that have happened to Black.
She said that, and then she told us to go vote for Joe Biden. And she rebuked Ice Cube because Donald Trump responded to Ice Cube's proposal for Black people. Think about that. You admit that Joe Biden did some of the worst things to Black folk, but you told us to go vote for him. We had to.
In this country. But I do believe that we can all grow, we can all evolve, and I hope this is a moment where we're going to see something different happen, especially if we win the 2 Senate seats in Georgia. Now, I will say that when you think about the issue of Kamala Harris and what she will or will not be able to accomplish, you're going to have to start talking about sexism, which I would argue is almost worse than, maybe worse than racism.
Did y'all hear that? I took issue with her saying that a few months ago. I asked you a question. I said, why did Cadillac feel comfortable? I said, why did Cadillac feel comfortable coming to Tamika to elevate the Black woman while ignoring the Black man? As if Black men have leveled all the way up. What did she say? I did a show on this before.
About sexism, which I would argue is almost different happen, especially if we win the 2 Senate seats in Georgia. Now, I will say that when you think about the issue of Kamala Harris and what she will or will not be able to accomplish, you're going to have to start talking about sexism, which I would argue is almost worse than, maybe worse than racism in this country.
Girl, please. We're not in the situation we're in because no Black man raped us. No Black man stole our labor. No Black man won't let us vote. Some Black man won't give us a loan. Some Black man redlined us. Some Black man sent us to war to die for white supremacy. Tamika said that a few months ago. She said in this country, she could argue that in some cases, sexism, family, I'm sorry, but you got to be out of your mind to say that. I have done too many shows giving you the receipts where white women, after a study that our sister did from a 10-year census, period, where white women owned 40% of some of the slaves. They were getting reports from some of the slaves that said that it was white women that set up the Black woman to be raped, not only by the white man, but it was white women setting them up to be raped also by other enslaved Black men. There were reports from former slaves that talked about how wicked the white woman was. And then there was also documents that showed that white women were in court fighting to hold on to their slaves. I gave you the information to let you know that at the end of the day, white women always votes with the white supremacists. Why? Donald Trump, remember, they voted for him at about 52, 53%, right? Remember, the second time around, the white women voted for Trump at about a 55% rate. Are y'all hearing me? Are y'all hearing me? Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. Because white women benefit. We know that the numbers of white women in the evangelical church is even higher than that. White women overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. Why am I making these points from slavery until present? Because the reason why they may talk out of their mouths one way, but they know at the end of the day, they benefit from white supremacist policies. So they vote in their own interest, unlike Black people. So some of the stuff that Tamika is talking about, she's conflating the white woman's issue that she had with her own man. And even some of the drama we have with our own men, we know has been instigated by us being in a foreign land, in a wicked land, in the hells of North America. That is these United States. Whatever issue we have with our man was exacerbated by our open enemy. So don't wonder why Cadillac felt comfortable. This is one more thing. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Another issue that I think is suspect with our system. Yes, thank you, my moderators, for putting welcome to the Vicky Show. Yes, we're so pleased that you're with us. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Don't forget to sign up for flynubianbusiness.com. If you want to learn how to start a Black business, you want to learn from Black people, this is the time to do it. Go to flynubianbusiness.com. Everybody on the count of 3, hit that thumbs up button, would you? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. I'm almost finished. Give me a few more minutes, okay? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, share, share. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, 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 family. We want to let as many other Black folk know as possible. Why? Because we're the Black grassroots. We're the alternative voice. We're the voice of the people. So when you do that, you help them to know that we're here. Listen, and our collective voice is powerful. Again, a white supremacist company was permitted to engage in dividing and conquering in the Black community by having what appeared to be a trusted Black woman talk about strong Black women and how it's going to be Black women that's going to lead this country to a better place. You must be a fool that if in war you spit on half of the soldiers and tell them that you have no need of them. Cadillac, who was bailed out, but you weren't bailed out during the Great Recession. It's fine if Tamika want to sell Cadillacs, but we've got to be wiser than to allow a company like that while we're at war, in war, to bring a division in our community. Tamir Rice's mother and other family members of the slain have every right to say what they say. I hope it's based on, whatever true story that is their own. But family, I'm sorry. The issues that I just laid out are exactly that. You cannot be disconnected from the true Black grassroots and think that you're going to receive support and not get backlash, family. But Cadillac, right now, you're hearing a whole lot of Black bootlicks discuss the draconian Georgia law that's Jim Crow 2.0 that guts so many voting rights in this bill that the governor signs there, right? What is the policy that they're pushing to put pressure on the governor and the Republicans to change their mind? They're saying, let's go to corporations, right? They're saying, oh, let's go to corporations, put the pressure on the corporations. Why? Because everybody knows that it's the corporations that buy the politicians. See, some of y'all don't get that. Business is warfare. Ask yourself, why is it that you're hearing prominent voices now say, in order to put pressure on them to change these draconian voting rights that were just signed into law in Georgia, they're now saying what? What are they saying? They're saying, let's go after the big corporations to speak up, to put pressure on the politicians. Why? Because everybody knows it's the big corporations, it's the big politicians that run and control Congress, your lawmakers. So if anything, I don't know exactly when she started this campaign with Cadillac, but if anything, I don't know. Wouldn't it have been interesting if Tamika said to Cadillac, how much money are you going to put for Black businesses here for this, for me to sell your cars, what you going to do for Black people? What demands were placed on Cadillac to appear? I'm talking about substantive demands See, you can't say that was something powerful and special because Cadillac put you up on there and you talking about black, you talking about, what's the word I'm looking for? You talking about, black, empowerment. Oh, they said, oh, black women. And so that was my agreement that they was going to let me talk about black women. No. What multi-billion dollar agreement did you come up with Cadillac for black folk economically? For those that's crying about the draconian voting rights laws, why don't y'all call up Tamika and say, how did whoever you talked to at Cadillac, did Cadillac come out and rebuke the Republicans for their voting rights, family? Somebody said, say it for us, Vicky. I'm saying it for you, baby. Thumbs up, share, family. Y'all in here heavy today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Vicky Show. Don't forget, I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Right now, whoever Tamika's point person was at Cadillac, can she get them same people back on the phone and say, what can you do for black folk substantively? Substantively, even for the bootleg. Y'all ain't hearing me. This collaboration is assisting the white supremacists, and it's ripping apart even further black stability, because subconsciously they're conditioning and programming folk to not expect the black man to be in the picture. As a black woman, you got me messed up. Yes, I believe the divine feminine is the unique, special prize and treasure of the black man and frankly the world. But the treasure that I know I am requires security. God, today, honey, you don't see a bank or some other institution of sorts that have large amounts of cash just let their cash and their valuables travel without some security. You got me messed up. The black man is supposed to be our providers and protectors, and you woman, you gotta be out of your mind. So when you're not promoting also the elevation of your man, it is to your detriment. You are at risk. You gotta be out of your mind. I know I'm a treasure that requires me to be protected and covered. Talk black to me. And I'm not talking about somebody that told me they decided yesterday they was a man. That's your business, but I ain't looking for you for me. That might be for you. More power to you. I'm talking about, baby, y'all don't play with me. I said, don't play with me with your funny looking self. And then at the end, y'all, at the end of the commercial, watch this, hold on.
I've been an activist.
At the end of the commercial, I want y'all to see this. I'm going to put it, I'm not even going to, I know y'all mad that I'm not showing the whole video, but you'll understand later. Wait a minute, where is that? Hold on, where is that? One of the scenes, it might be hard to see it here. This scene, what does this scene remind you of? Y'all, it's hard to see because it's black and I paused it and I don't want to play it because it's going to move too fast. I may play it again and then y'all look real close to this scene. I'm too busy going off. I'm getting all kind of stuff on this phone, even though I done cleared it off. Watch this. Y'all look real close to this scene. I'm not going to even put any sound to it. Look at this scene at the table. Can y'all see that? I'm doing it again. Look at that scene. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pause it right there. Why they look like it's the Last Supper? Y'all, it's a lot going on. Some of y'all don't get it. Y'all got me messed up if you think that I'm fixing to voluntarily go to war and I don't have my man there. You got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind. And some of us are fighting back. Some of us say, not on my watch, baby. I love my sister Tamika. I'm not doing this show to get anybody to feel ugly or salty. You guys know I teach Black economics. I teach Black empowerment, which means I'm not that one that sits there and pocket watches somebody else's money. I believe in the Black man and the Black woman having more than enough resources because that's how God intended. If you got a problem with somebody having resources, having everything that they need and living in abundance, it's something wrong with you. But it matters how you get it. There's a scene in scripture, and you know it's a prophetic story. Some parts that you read about in scripture are not just literal. It's metaphorical. It's perceptive knowledge and insight. There are multiple revelations that you can get just from one text. But we know when it talks about that scene when Jesus was in the wilderness with the devil, he offered him the world, didn't he? But the world was already his. He says, if you bow, if you do this, if you do this, if you do this, turn these stones into bread. This is what I'm seeing these corporations and white supremacy work at. Let me tell you something. This is another major thing with some of these activists. If you can say, some of you may say, well, Tamika came under some controversy before and white people got mad at her about this, that, and the other. Let me tell y'all something. White, for purposes, those of you that don't understand, family, the government, politicians, the media, and other entities, they create chaos. They create an incident to stir up stuff on purpose. Let me tell you something. Yes, there may be other times where a few white women was mad at Tamika for the Women's March, and it caused the rift in the organization. And Tamika's not, I don't think she's technically a part of that anymore, but watch this. But you got a white company that's pushing a Black woman that's pro-Black. Let me tell y'all something. There's something suspicious, in my opinion, when white folk feel real comfortable with their big white corporations pushing you if you was a real threat to white supremacy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Our goal is to put pressure on these white corporations to benefit Black folk economically. I'm not saying that it's not a such thing as white companies doing something for Black people. I'm saying, but when they're promoting you, when they get you to sell their cars, tell the truth. And they get you not to mention your own man's name. That's what I'm trying to tell you is a problem, y'all. It's one thing if you got that corporation to do something substantive for your people. It's another thing when they promote you and you do them a big fat favor and elevate the Black woman and pretend that her man doesn't even exist. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave that at that for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Family, make sure that you like, share, that you subscribe. Watch this. Let me say this real quick. Don't go to where yet. How many of you all remember me breaking this down? I'm almost finished. Y'all don't go away yet. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Give me just a couple minutes. This is the last thing I want to remind you of. I want to give you this last thing. I want to remind you of real quick, family. Thumbs up, share, share, share. On the count of three. On that count of three. Everybody that has it, hit that thumbs up button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. You all know I remind you of this all the time. This was under the Trump administration. And I want to know what is the Biden administration. I want to know the latest of what the Biden administration is doing real quick. I'm reading this from QZ.com. It's an African publication. I read from Fox News before and some others before on the same topic about how under the Trump administration, they used $600,000 approximately of your taxpayer dollars to study Kenyan soldiers so that they could take Black boys and men in Kenya so that they could use that knowledge and study is what they were going to do. I'm telling you, use it against our warrior class here in America. Watch this. It says that the 2-year, $600,000 program says expectations of Kenyan men. What have I taught y'all? The U.S. government, y'all, for those of you that don't know, a grant proposal, let me just read this other part. The grant proposed by the State Department's Bureau of Counterterrorism on January 12th, this was in 2018, aims to fund a project that looks at the ideals of masculinity. Some of y'all didn't know this, but if you watched the Vicky show, you know I reminded you of this for the past 3 years now. The link is in the chat. Listen. Who did I say? I said the State Department, y'all, while you're playing. In 2018, under the Trump administration, they used a $600,000 program for the State Department's Bureau of Counterterrorism, y'all, to study these Black soldiers. Watch this. The 2-year, $600,000 program says expectations of Kenyan men to be what? Tough, heterosexual, aggressive, unemotional, and achieving. Your government in recent history spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of your taxpayer dollars to study African boys and men, so-called ideals of masculinity. Why were they doing it? They claim they did it because of the number of men that were participating in what they said was terrorism over there in Africa. Child, please. And the government knows the only way that they can study that secret that causes them to be so successful. Soldiers that don't have the weaponry that the government has, but it's still giving America this work and still being a thorn in the side of the government. They use your dollars to do that study. And you all know that they're going to take that knowledge back that they learned from those Black melanin soldiers and use it against our warrior class here in America. What did I say were the 5 things, the 5 ideals? I talk about this all the time. Tough. I said the government said this. Heterosexual. That's why I always say that there's a war against the Black heterosexual man. Aggressive. Unemotional. And achieving. The bussies I go after have none of those traits. They may have a piece, a fraction of one, and none of the others. These are the qualities that make America fear. It is the Black heterosexual masculine man. Yes. Tough, heterosexual, aggressive, unemotional, and achieving. These are the qualities of the old school Black Zulu soldiers, Zulu men that was given the white colonialists that work. You guys have to understand that. You've got to understand that you are being tricked into ignoring your own man because they are the greatest threat and thorn in the side of white supremacy. Somebody talk Black to me. The link is in the chat. I want you guys to study that. And then I want some of you reach out to Kamala. Reach out to Simone Sanders. Reach out to Kareem Jean-Pierre. Reach out to Joe Biden. Reach out to the Deputy Secretary and everybody else that's working in the White House and ask them what is the latest status of that study. And what is the U.S. government doing with that knowledge? And why did they use your very black taxpayer dollars to do it in the first place? I remind you all of this all the time because it's relevant today. I'm trying to get you to understand why the war is so intense and why all of these different corporations and different people and things are working to make sure that your man is nowhere in the picture. Your State Department, as recently as 2018, engaged in this particular program. They're plotting, family, to destroy us, which is why I make my appeal to you, League of Mammies, to not participate, to not assist our 466-year-old open enemy, to understand the weight of the work that you do for them and the danger and the death even that you can unnecessarily bring to our people because of your participation and you being enamored with Zaddy. I'm done now. I've talked about that all the time. I've broken that whole thing down many times before, and I'm never going to stop talking about it because it's relevant and it has everything to do with why they're trying to cause and exacerbate the divide between the black man and the black woman. Thank you all so much for showing up. I can't wait to see you again very soon. Again, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm normally here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people like you. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Be sure to check out my website at MissVickiTV.com. Those of you that are wondering how you can connect with me, how you can find out what I'm up to, how you can reach me, go to MissVickiTV.com. That's MissVickiTV.com. MissVickiTV.com. Make sure that you are connected to our Black Business School at FlyNubianBusiness.com. Why? If you want to learn how to start a Black business, start an additional stream of income, which you must have in these times, go to FlyNubianBusiness.com and invest in yourself. If you want to learn how to invest in terms of your money, go to FlyNubianMoney.com and you'll be learning from Black competent people. I love you all so much. We appreciate you that are supporters of the network. And I so love my Beehive. You all are absolutely amazing. You are my Bliss Black family. You are so special. I bow to you. And I can't wait to see you again.